We are back in Mesquite, Texas today, here to talk about the pros and cons of the area. And I must say that there are several unusual items on this list that aren't addressed in other Dallas suburbs. Maybe you've heard about this city or known that it's housed nearly 150,000 people for nearly a decade, but in this video, we're going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly of Mesquite, Texas. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Mike Harrison, your local realtor here in North Texas, and I've helped many clients buy and sell all over North Texas. If you want to know what it's like to work, live, and play in the Dallas Metroplex, go ahead and hit subscribe, support the channel, and stay tuned for videos every Sunday and Thursday. Before diving into the pros of Mesquite, let's go ahead and do a quick overview of this Dallas suburb. The 2023 census showed that Mesquite had a population of around 144,000 people, down 4% from the 148,000 people back in 2020. Mesquite is only about 13 miles east of Dallas and covers approximately 47 square miles in land. Mesquite is actually part of two counties, partially in Dallas County and the other in Kaufman County. There's a median age of 33, and it's actually been designated as the rodeo capital of Texas. We'll get more into the rodeo scene later in this video. Mesquite is within 31 miles from Arlington that hosts the AT&T Stadium for Dallas Cowboys games and many major concerts throughout the year, Globe Life Field for Texas Rangers games, and Six Flags in Hurricane Harbor. You are 15 miles from downtown Dallas for many networking events, American Airlines Center that is home to Dallas Mavericks and Dallas Stars games, and many other major events throughout the year. And you're about 49 miles away from Fort Worth, that hosts the stockyards and is actually the city that saw the highest population increase in the country year over year in 2023. And now that we've covered a quick overview of this area, let's go ahead and dive into the pros of Mesquite, Texas. For starting with pro number one, I'd like to highlight the location Mesquite has within DFW. To me, Mesquite's location is pretty convenient, as you're only about a 15-mile drive to Dallas for all your downtown Dallas nightlife options, including the unique dining, clubs, Dallas Mavericks and Dallas Stars games, and major concerts held downtown every year. But if you're like me and you're more into the lake vibe, then you're only a short 11-mile drive to Rockwall, Texas to check out Lake Ray Hubbard. We mentioned Lake Ray Hubbard's here. This is a lake that spans over 22,000 acres of shoreline. This lake is great for fishing, skiing, relaxing, and recreational boating. There are numerous parks located around the lake, nice beaches, hiking and biking trails, and other outdoor activities. There are many shopping and dining options that are located right by the lake, so if you need to give your sea legs a little break, just pull into one of the waterfront developments and you can grab a quick bite to eat. Personally, I used to live right off Lake Ray Hubbard. Lake Ray Hubbard was my backyard basically when I was one of like 6 roommates over there close to Rockwall. I had a great time. I was spending way too much money though for a broke 20-year-old. And if you haven't heard of the harbor, this is on the eastern shores of Lake Ray Hubbard and is an incredibly well-designed commercial development full of shops and dining. This area has a great view of the lake from its walking paths and restaurant patios. On top of the shopping and dining, you also have a movie theater here, a Hilton hotel. It's one of the best day getaways in Dallas. You even have shared office spaces over here if you're working remotely. Your dining options include Campese's, Doty's Cajun Diner, Gloria's, Sideways Barbecue, and many more restaurants. What I like about these options is they aren't located just everywhere in Dallas. These restaurants are few and far between in DFW, so Rockwall gets many folks that don't even live here coming into town to enjoy their dining experience. And to top off the experience at the harbor, you also have the Concert by the Lake series here. These are concerts every Thursday that begin in May and has drawn thousands of visitors to enjoy the venue. Bring a lawn chair, blankets, beverages, or even bring your own beer, or just BYOB. And the best part about it, it's literally right off the lake. The lake is the background view of the concert scene here, creating a great vibe and overall experience. So again, living in Mesquite means you're a short 15-mile drive to Dallas, and another 15-mile drive or 15-minute drive over there to Rockwall. Our second pro for living in Mesquite is for all the cowboys and rodeo fans out there, and it's the great rodeo scene right there in the area. Type in Mesquite Rodeo in Google and you'll quickly see that this is a big attraction here, located right off 635. It's a must-see if you're visiting the area. If you've never attended a rodeo, all of those horses, bulls, and cowboys running around can seem chaotic. Don't worry, you don't have to be born in a saddle to understand the rodeo. Like all professional rodeos, the Mesquite Championship Rodeo has 2 categories of events, timed and rough stock. True to the name, a timed event requires cowboys to complete tasks such as calf roping as quickly as possible, and rough stock events challenges riders to stay on a horse, bull, or steer for 8 seconds while holding on with one hand. Man, there are times I can barely hold a beer with one hand, let alone stay on a horse or bull. Hotels, several places to eat, plenty of options right around the rodeo here off of 635. Opening weekend this year in 2024 is on June 1st. It was awarded the Small Rodeo of the Year in 2020 and happens every Saturday from June 1st through August 31st. Kid tickets are only $10 if you want to take them out as well. Object pro number 3 for living in Mesquite, and it's going to surprise you, is actually the cheap and affordable housing prices right here in Mesquite. And yes, I said affordable, even in DFW. Zillow shows there's a median home value of $270,652, and in January 2024, the median sale price was $269,667. So it's still right in line with the home values there. Now you might be wondering, why is it so much cheaper over there in Mesquite compared to other areas of DFW? And I'll be sure to address that in the cons later of this video. But if you are considering moving to Dallas or the DFW area overall, and you're on a tighter budget, Mesquite does offer much more affordable pricing than areas like Prosper, Frisco, Salina, McKinney, and the northern Dallas suburbs. The first listing I ever had in my real estate agent career was actually in Mesquite. And so while I never lived in Mesquite, it's always kind of had a special place in my heart, but I ain't getting sappy here. There were 1,389 homes that sold in Mesquite in 2023, and 1,223 of them were sold below $400,000. In other words, 91% of the homes that sold in Mesquite in 2023 had prices that would barely get you a tenth in some of these North Dallas or West Dallas suburbs. And on to our last pro of Mesquite, and this is unique to Mesquite compared to other areas, and that's the pretty diverse population we have here. Niche.com gave Mesquite an A+ rating for diversity, and I ain't gonna lie, it might be the first city I've seen in DFW that's been given an A+ for this rating. Checking another source with bestneighborhood.org, and they awarded Mesquite with a diversity score of 97. It shows that Hispanic Americans make up 43.6% of residents, followed by white Americans at 25%, African Americans at 24%, offering much more diversity than majority of DFW suburbs. All right, guys, it's not all sunshine and rainbows over here in Mesquite. It's some of the folks that are watching this video, some of you that are already probably typing up some comments about the area, you know where I'm gonna go for some of these cons in Mesquite. For con number one, let's go a little bit more lighthearted and address the traffic here. Yes, we've addressed traffic in several other Dallas and Fort Worth videos, but Mesquite is especially bad. You've got Highway 635 running east and west throughout the city, and that's a horrible area. In my opinion, 635 is the worst highway to be on in all of DFW because not only is it so heavily used, but there is constantly road work and construction happening on the highway. You have some of the most populated suburbs in Dallas right next to each other, with Mesquite, Garland, and Rockwall, then bleeding over into Plano, and many of these suburbs use 635 to get in and out of Dallas. And as you might imagine, this creates many traffic jams and delays right over there in Mesquite. On to our second con of living in the area. There's no pretty way to address this. It's just the below average schools that we have there. Many of my personal friends have gone to Mesquite and have done very well after attending school there. So this isn't a knock at all on the folks that actually went to school there or graduated from there. Rather, it's on the school system or the school district. Hell, if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you know where my two youngest kids go to school, and that school district could use a ton of help. The Mesquite School District could just use some improvements, particularly with their academic programs, teacher reputation, and administration reputation. Niche.com gave a B+ to all of these categories, and that is below the A, A- or A+ many North Dallas suburbs received from Niche.com. Mesquite ISD has nearly 39,000 students, 5 high schools, 10 middle schools, and 33 elementary schools. I guess you could say the silver lining of Mesquite schools is it does have a pretty well-known athletic program. Many of the student athletes that have gone to Mesquite have gone on to compete from Division I to Division III schools, JUCO, and sometimes even make it to the pros. Quincy AC, Jason Jennings, Joe Bowden, Taylor Gabriel, and Terrell Brown are probably the most well-known to come out of Mesquite schools to play pro basketball, baseball, and football. But back to academics, no way to slice it, they need a lot of improvement. Our third con of living in Mesquite is the lack of parks and recreation that we have here. Again, no way to really dress this up. The parks in Mesquite aren't that impressive. If you want a more Parks and Rec type environment or experience, you're going to want to check out Garland or Rockwall. Unfortunately, even if you look on Google, you'll see the Parks and Rec department has a 3.3 out of 5-star rating over there in Mesquite. Our fourth con of living in Mesquite is the lack of a trendy downtown scene. This is another topic where you'd be way better off checking out Garland or Rockwall for their downtown scenes, especially Garland, and we'll highlight that in a separate video. Mesquite's downtown is pretty non-existent, unfortunately. So if you're one of those buyers that bases their next move around an up-and-coming downtown area filled with boutique shops and unique restaurants, this isn't the place. And for our last con of living in Mesquite, and y'all would probably call me out and say I was BSing if I didn't call this out, but it's the pretty bad crime rate that we have over there. According to Niche.com, Mesquite has a higher crime rate than the national crime rate in assault, equal in murder, and nearly equal in burglary and theft, with a much higher crime rate in motor vehicle theft. Don't be surprised if you get questioned by the police at any random stop over there. It's unfortunate because this was once a sought-after city in the mid-2000s, as it was perceived as a pretty nice place to be and one of the most populated cities in DFW. But if you notice at the beginning of this video, I mentioned the population has actually gone down since 2020, which is completely opposite of the trend compared to most of the DFW Metroplex. So guys, this is going to close us out on the pros and cons of living in Mesquite, Texas. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Do me a favor, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you ever have any questions about Mesquite or would like a tour of any of the properties here, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact info is pinned in the top comment below. And lastly, if you want to see what another great North Texas suburb is like, check out this video by clicking here.